Hi, everyone. I'm Jennifer Zarate, and you're watching CRNtv. Hispanic Heritage Month kicked off September 15th and runs through October 15th, celebrating the contributions and accomplishments of our Hispanic community in the U.S. and abroad. And here with me today is Intel's Carla Rodriguez. Thank you for joining me today, Carla.
Thank you, Jennifer. Likewise, it's a pleasure to be here talking to you again.
It's a pleasure to have you on. So, not only as a woman in tech, but a woman of color in tech, what else can be done to improve diversity and inclusion in the workplace?
It's a great question. I think it's been very well received. I think 2020's brought a lot of attention to a lot of underrepresented groups. And I think that the environment is a lot more open to a lot of the feedback from a lot of us. What I do think needs to happen going forward, maybe a little bit more, is we as Latinx employees, we need to be more specific on what we want, what the ask is of our leadership. So our leadership is listening. Our leadership wants to drive more diversity and more inclusion within our industry.
Now, as we look to educate our younger generations, and to give an example from my own experience, growing up, I only ever saw Latinx reporters on Univision or Telemundo, never really on local TV news. And seeing that lack of representation mirrored for men and women of color within the math and sciences, why is it important to create initiatives like this?
So I completely agree with you, right? You take a look around and oftentimes we don't see as many role models. So I think a lot of it is for those of us where we are in a position to be more visible. It may be a little uncomfortable for those of us that don't necessarily like the spotlight, but I think it's really a responsibility for us to be more visible. And I have a little story. It is unrelated to technology. I mentioned I'm a small business owner, and I was at my business a couple of months ago, and there was a Hispanic woman that was there, and she didn't realize I was the owner. She thought I worked there. And I clarified it, and I say, no, I'm actually the owner. And she looked at me and she said, wow, you mean I also can one day be a business owner? And I said, absolutely. And, it was a touching story because it really hit home that you have to be visible. You have to be a role model because, perhaps not until that day, it might not have been a possibility that she considered. And so it really touched me.
That is. I'm very moved myself, and why I'm passionate about the work that I do and the responsibility I feel I have to be that very same role model. So Carla, thank you so much for taking the time to speak with me today.
Thank you, Jennifer. It's my pleasure. I'm glad we were able to connect on this topic as well.